Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I'm Conostip and this is going to be part 36 of my early campaign where I'm playing as England. And we are continuing to build on up and we're playing pretty peacefully. We have been for a while now and it has been working okay. So the Polish Empire, the second Polish Empire that is continuing to look like a threat. It really is. And they're now expanding into Anatolia at the expense of the Byzantines. And they're very close to bordering me. They just need to take Armenia, and then they would have to take Syria or Rome, and then they would be bordering me here in Edessa. So it's not far away for that to be happening. And yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. I currently have inquisitors in most provinces that belong to the Poles, and I'm going to want to start to bring emissaries up as well. Emissaries are just the alternative to bringing out bishops, just because bishops, I think that they do counter some of the effects of the inquisitors. I think they... Is it true that you can't try someone for heresy if there's a bishop in that same province? That might be the case. I'm not... I think so. And then I think they also might kind of cap the zeal count on provinces as well that the inquisitors are raising. So it's better to have diplomats or emissaries rather than bishops when you're working with inquisitors. But I'm in a position now where I can begin to try Polish generals and governors for heresy, and if it doesn't kill them, then it will at least lower their dread, so we can cause an instability in their empire in that way. If we're not causing outright civil war and rebellion, then we can at the very least cause them to lower their taxes and force them to leave troops in these back territories where they would otherwise prefer them to be out fighting on their frontiers. For instance, the Germans, very annoyingly, are sending their crusades through Flanders, but at least they're sending them against the Poles here in Serbia. They're attacking this province, and the papacy is right here as well, here in Croatia. So they're probably not going to stay here. The Poles are probably going to kick the papacy out. But the fact that the Poles are excommunicated does make them a target for anyone that wants to launch a crusade in that direction. And that could be me, but I don't really, I feel like my crusading days are over, at least for now. And I'm going to continue to try to destabilize their region just through using my agents and whatnot. My next step, I think, in addition to using my inquisitors to do the things that I just mentioned, is to also start to send spies in. Now, in the previous Polish Empire, there were way too many border forts, and my spies weren't at a high enough level of valor to where I felt confident enough to be able to get in. But now I'm in a position where, one, I can train spies with a +1 valor, not here, but here I have a stew, which is a building that allows me to train spies with a +1 valor. I don't have any yet. These are all 0 valor spies. They are here, though. I can start sending them into these Polish regions because there are regions now that do not have border forts in them. Now, some of these regions may have been regions that originally had a border fort, but it may have been knocked down during a previous engagement. If, for instance, there's a civil war fight, or if these are like for the previously held Byzantine territories, then, this is just a watchtower here in Trebizond. Same thing in Constantinople, it's just a watchtower. So those may have been border forts that were knocked down in the taking of that province. What about here in Georgia as well? There's a border fort here, okay. But there's opportunities to get in here. And I'm going to take that opportunity. Destabilizing Constantinople could cause a Byzantine loyalist rebellion. That could be very nice. And then because Bulgaria is still rebel held, what I could do is... Wallachia does a border fort, but Moldavia does not, so that's another opportunity. Poland just has a watchtower, so that's another opportunity. I think there's a few more opportunities, not around here. Lithuania, there's no port here, so I'd have to go in through... I would have to find a way into Lithuania. Kiev has a border fort, so that might be kind of tough. I might have to... Can I come in through up here? Novgorod never built a port in any place, so I can't send agents through here. That's so annoying. Okay, well, I might have to sort of just mass produce spies and kind of force them into Lithuania. Some of them might die on their way through Kiev or Volhynia or Prussia, but, you know, it's a cost that I'm willing to pay. And then, same thing up here in Khazar. I can't really, there's not really like a safe way to get into Khazar, but Khazar itself just has a watchtower, and same thing here in Volga, Bulgaria. There's nothing here in Volga, Bulgaria. So, yeah, there are options to destabilize this region using spies and inquisitors, and I suppose assassins as well. You know, eventually they can be sent on as well, but I think for now I'm going to be focused on training spies up here in Scotland. With that +1 valor, I can send my guys into these provinces that already I can have access to that don't have border forts. So that's an option as well. As for my like build strategy going forward, I'm still just kind of rushing to fortresses at this point. Not rushing. There are still other things that I am building that are useful. There's still economic buildings that are useful, but I do want to get up to those fortress level buildings just so that I really do want to, you know, I do want to cut down on the amount of forces that I have and just have my small garrisons holding my big, awesome fortresses and just try to get some really cool defensive fights in. If anyone wants to take that fight, you know, Aragon, I know we're still at war. Spain here in Navarre, again, they're not in a great position, but they have forces here in Navarre. So, you know, that's something that could happen. The Italians could betray me. Who knows what could happen? Or even down here in the Levant as well, there's opportunities for, you know, whoever. Again, Spain, I suppose, would be the primary option. I guess, are you going to Syria? Is that your objective? Yeah, it is. Okay. Good luck. Good luck with that. I feel like you should be able to take it, but who knows? The Mongols, yeah. They just have a handful of Mongol heavy cav, and that might be enough, but we will have to see. Okay. Well, I am making almost 20,000 per turn. That's amazing. That's just insane. I have 425,000 in the bank, and I think that I have ship coverage over everywhere that is important. Looking pretty good. I'm not quite to the point yet where I'm building my 3rd tier boats. I think I'm working on it, but when I will talk about them. I think that I'm working on it. They're going to be the cogs, I believe. Yeah. So I'm going to be working on getting those going. I think I'm getting the Ship Builders Guild here in Normandy, so I think I can get those going. Yeah, with a cannon foundry, I can produce cogs. So is this a cannon foundry? Yes, it is. Okay, so we'll get there in 5 turns. I can start building those cogs. That will be nice. Just to make sure that I can win any naval battles. I'm already in I'm in a good spot, I am. But the fact is that my naval units are equal to the other nations, you know, naval units. They've had access to caravels as long as I have, and it's been a long time, so they're probably built up to some degree, that is, you know, whether it's the Spanish, whether it's the Italians, you know, there's enough forces, not that we're at war with these factions, but if we end up at war with these factions, it would be nice to make sure that we can win these engagements, to make sure that we are still making this sweet moolah right here. Yeah, I want to keep that number, you know, as close to that as I can. That's a very nice number. And we did have a new king who was crowned in the last episode, and I think I forgot to take a look at him. So he is here, King Richard II, 28 years old. He is married. I think he has been married for a while. Maybe I didn't get him right at 16, but like, you know, maybe 20 or something. Maybe I got him married. So he's been married for a few years, and he doesn't have any sons yet. Currently, his only heir is Prince John, his younger brother by 4 years, and he is also married. So one of these guys better be making some kids, and hopefully it's you. 4 influence is not bad. I think that should be suitable. I mean, considering that I'm not really training any soldiers, I don't have to worry about that too much. But the whole German crusade situation here in Flanders is super annoying. It really is. I'm still technically at war with this French, aren't I? I am. Yeah. So, you know, if the French feel like they can take me here in Flanders, they will bite me here. And I need to keep replenishing these soldiers until something happens that's definitive with this crusade. Yeah. Yeah, that is annoying. I'm building a gunsmith's workshop. Okay. Yeah, I don't want that to be interrupted here in Flanders. I want to keep Yeah, I need to make sure that I can hold on to this province without, yeah, any interruptions. I can bring these chivalric men-at-arms up here as well, but it just feels so bad. You know, I'm just feeding the German Crusade more and more stuff. Yeah, that's not a good feeling. The French stuff isn't, you know, it's not great, but as long as they continue to get family members, they are going to continue to get these Royal Knights. So, you know, what do they have right now? Oh, I guess they only have 3 units of full-strength Royal Knights, so that's not that. Yeah, I guess looking at their armies, it's like not, it's not that. They are pretty beat up. Wait, is that another army that I didn't see? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4, 5 units. Okay, so there's an army back there that I didn't quite see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have to make sure that Flanders is defended well enough. Man, it's just, yeah, it sucks having these guys joining the German Crusade. No, guys, don't go. Don't go. They're gonna die. They're not gonna make it. And I think I'm gonna be keeping my king in Brittany. I think that this is a good spot to place him. Really, the only concern is that if my link between my areas, considering that I have 3 sections of my empire that are linked by my navies, that is the British Islands, and then my continental holdings in Western Europe, and then of course my holdings in the Levant. And the fear is that, sure, my king's influence in regards to my provincial loyalty is connected right now through my navies. All it takes, though, is a naval war to destroy that link. Now, having a presence in these deep water regions, which do link me to all of these other coastal areas, does strengthen my links, obviously. But still, you know, as you can see, there are deep water boats belonging to other nations as well. So that is the fear, right? That is the fear that if that link is ever broken, you know, his influence is not going to be felt overseas. So if I were to choose an area that is most important for that link to not be broken, I think it would be Western Europe. This is where most of my stuff is. Sure, the British Isles are important, but they're also safer, you know. I don't think that there's much of a threat attacking and invading the British Isles, as long as I have my boats, right? And the cogs, when I start building those, are going to help, you know, really solidify my defense of the British Isles and my other areas as well. So that'll make this area feel even more impervious, I suppose, when I start getting those nicer boats out into the water. So yeah, keeping him here in Brittany, I think, is probably the best choice. Because, yeah, I got to keep this guy alive, you know. You have to start making some sons. And your younger brother, should I move you off of the front lines? I don't know. I feel like Ile-de-France is pretty gosh darn safe, you know. We pretty much have 3 stacks here, so we are probably fine. I've just been going through and placing down heresy trials on these Polish, you know, generals and governors, and the chance of success for these has been really high. And I wonder, you know, it's funny. You would think like it's obvious they have been excommunicated. I think that's the reason why. I think it's because they've been excommunicated. These are numbers. I've never seen numbers this high before, and we've always thought that it was linked to piety, which may be true. I've been wondering this, you know, over and over again, like what are the actual results or effects of the excommunication? Because it doesn't seem to directly affect the loyalty of the generals themselves. You know, I've noticed this before in previous campaigns, specifically with the French, usually when they're doing very well. I've looked at this and they don't seem to be affected at all by excommunications, and I'm thinking now, wait a minute, maybe this directly lowers the piety of the characters themselves, which makes them more susceptible to being attacked by these heresy trials here. That's very interesting. That's, yeah, because I wonder, typically you can't really get a king. What are my chances here? 0%. Okay, so that's whatever. Still though, I could still remove his dread, even with the failed trial. I know it's only 1 point of dread, but still, that does, you know, every little bit does count. So, yeah, these are quite high numbers for. I don't think I have a. Do I have a Inquisitor in this province? No, I do not. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting though. That's interesting to find that out. I'm not sure this is the case, but it does kind of seem like it is. So you are. Oh, that's too bad. So, wait, where's the governor of Constantinople? Where'd he go? Is he here? No. Okay. I thought I saw the governor of Constantinople, but then I must have lost him. A 100% chance of getting this guy with a heresy trial. What? Why is it so bad? This is the voivode of Moldavia. I guess that's the governor. How do you get 100%? Wait, are you just really good? No, you have 0 valor. Why is that 100% chance? Is Moldavia? What's going on here? Zeal 55%. That doesn't seem specifically high. Why is there a 100% chance of killing that guy? Huh. This is very interesting. Well, when I do end this turn, I will definitely not cut this part out because we might be getting a slew of Polish deaths here. Yeah, the Duke of Trebizond, a 5-star general. What are going to be the chances here? 37% chance? Jesus, this could be devastating. I didn't think that this was going to be this impactful. I mean, who knows? We'll see, I guess, during the end turn. And I will, yeah, you guys will definitely be there for it. I'm still going through this, and in this man's case, it was only a 2% chance of getting him the heretical trial, which again is interesting. It's just very... So he has like 2 piety, but it's, you know, excommunicated. He's the Duke of Khazar, and I'm wondering, so why only 2% chance of getting him? Is it because of that piety, despite the fact that he's excommunicated? Or is there something with Khazar that has to do with this? Because... Is it because it's only a 69% Catholic, or is it because the zeal is only 34%? Is there something to do with this? Is something, you know, is that partly why there's only a 2% chance of killing that guy with a heresy trial? Yeah, it's interesting. So in this case, I would imagine it's like 38%, 20%, okay? So yeah, 20%, 0 piety, King of Bohemia. Let's continue to look at this. Like, what's going on? Here, Bohemia. Zeal's 74%, 100% Catholic, so no clues there. Oh, yeah. Kind of hard to figure this out. Oh, I just realized it could be linked not to the province that he is the governor of, but the province that he's actually in. So 13% chance, or 13% zeal, that's quite low, right? And I think this is the guy that... Was it you that was the 2%? No, I think it was you. So what's the zeal here? 11%. Okay, so that kind of explains it, because I was looking at the King of Bohemia, or not the King of Bohemia, that's just this 3-star guy that's in Bohemia. Again, so like looking at the command stars, if we had ever thought that it had to do with the command stars, this man right here, it was a 100% chance of getting him. So he's going to be dying during this end turn. And looking at the zeal of Bohemia, it's 74%. Okay, it's pretty high. So yeah, I think it's the zeal of the province itself, which, as you can imagine, synchronizes very well with the power of the Inquisitor. They raise zeal. Yeah, huh. Yeah, this is a very good learning experience right now. No, do not cancel that mission. Do not. All right, I'm very curious to see what is going to be happening during this end turn. Okay, that is enough of that. So let's go ahead and end this turn and watch the carnage, I suppose? I mean, yeah, there's going to be some fires burning in Poland, or the Polish Empire, that is. I would imagine. Alright, the German Crusade is making a move on Serbia again. And yes, so, alright. So the disease of heretical thought is rife. I have an arduous task ahead, cleansing the arrow-prone, but with the hand of God guiding me, I shall prevail. So this just mentions the Inquisitor and the accused. So yeah, I don't, was that a success? I'm not sure. This man has not been possessed by the devil, so he goes free. Defendant released. Defendant released. Okay. Okay, so this seems to indicate that this man is in, I mean, yeah, the picture is a man being burned at the stake. So I guess that's what has happened here. It's, the way that it's worded is a little bit, like, why not just say that he's been burned at the stake? So, you know, yeah, same. So it looks like, yeah, that's just the success message for this. Okay. Yeah, we're getting quite a few of them, though. And a few of them were, you know, either A, starred generals, or B, governors. So, yeah, man, we're getting a few of these guys. And I had an assassin. Oh, he was attacking that Byzantine emissary. That's too bad. That's a rank 4 assassin. Yeah, that sucks losing him. Just chasing the emissary into Georgia. But we did get the general / governor that we were attacking there. All right. All right. So the papacy is attacking Austria, and the Poles are going to be retreating there. The papacy is going to be retreating from Croatia, though. And then the Poles are going to be retreating from Serbia, but I imagine they will just counterattack. And the Byzantines are retreating from Trebizond as well. Alright, the Prince of Novgorod has died from an illness. And an Inquisition in Castile, led by my Inquisitor. And then, yeah, this is another one of those things that I would like to get to the bottom of this, you know. I really do wonder if there is a meaning behind the amount of people that have been killed. 2,400, that's a fuck ton of people that were just killed in the Inquisition, and you kind of want those numbers to mean something, you know? Yeah, 900 people here killed in Silesia. Monastery finished here in Aquitaine. So that's going to be +1 morale, and then we can now train Inquisitors in Aquitaine as well. And then the catapult towers are finished here in Antioch. This is going to be for the castle. Yes, okay. And perfect, we got a son now. Awesome, that's great. So we have a 29-year-old king, and we have a new son. Wonderful. All right, this governor +2 piety. All right, so first I'm gonna just kind of come over here, and so yeah, so they lost 2,400 men, and does that mean anything? Not that I can tell. I mean, I guess the zeal lowered. I'm assuming it was higher than 57% before. I guess. Yeah, like, you can imagine that Lyon's going to be the next place to sort of burn out. It's going to be, you know, 100% soon, I suppose, and then they will burn out as well. I suppose that's how that works. Yeah, okay. And then Silesia as well, same thing. Yeah, their zeal is now down to 39%. Okay, yeah. So as the Inquisitors, you know, do their work, it becomes harder for them to, you know, continue to you know, kill people and try people for heresy once that zeal does burn out. So there is an ebb and flow to that, and I think that there is a counter. So let me just like just for science purposes. See, I've removed all of my bishops and put them in Greece just so that they don't interfere with my Inquisitors. But now let's put like an Inquisitor in Constantinople, and then So 0% chance of killing this guy. 2 piety. What's the zeal here? 17% chance. That's probably why. It's probably not because I just put an Inquisitor or Bishop there. Is there somewhere with very high zeal that I want to, like a place where I probably can get a 100% chance? Like Poland, perhaps? So can I get a bishop to Poland and then... see? Because I just want to test this out. The Spanish are now offering an alliance, and this is very tempting. I don't have any quarrel with the Spanish. I don't intend on attacking any of the territory that they have, nor do they present a real threat when it comes to their glorious achievement objectives. So, yeah, I suppose, so with the war with the Mongols, that's fine, and yeah, let's be friends. And we have a daughter on the way. Huzzah. Unhinged loon. Okay, well, you're not a starred general, so it doesn't really matter too much. Although that is, yeah, -3 morale for his unit as well, which isn't great, but there you go. And are you're not a governor, so I don't think that matters too much for you as well. I just remembered as well, I was looking at the glorious achievements for the other factions here, and the Germans have this goal here of the Hanseatic League, right? And so the idea of this is that a powerful chain of German coastal cities with ports and merchants uniting to dominate trade offers vast wealth to the furtherance of the empire. Points are counted in 1250, 1300, yada yada yada. Imperial merchants must control more than 2/3 of the North Sea trade. And apparently, they are controlling 2/3 of the North Sea trade. Well, let's have a little gander at that out, shall we? This is the North Sea. And how many ports do the Germans have in the North Sea? Shit, do they even have any boats in the North Sea? I don't see any. So, what about ports then? They have a port there. Saxony doesn't have a port. And then what about me? I have 1, 2, 3 ports in the North Sea. So, what in the gosh darn is going on here? Wool, so they have wool here. I have wool in Mercia. I have wool and saltfish in Northumbria, and I don't have any trade goods in Scotland. So that must be a that has to be a bugged objective, correct? Like the Germans just always get that one? Or there's something about it that I'm misunderstanding here, because that's, you know, doesn't really tell us what that means. You know, is that 2/3 of the money that is going through the North Sea? Is that the ports? Is that, you know, the boats? You know, what does that really mean? Well, in any case, good for them, and it's a good thing that they're not too threatening, because if they were, I'd be doing something about that. And it does appear that having bishops in a province has no effect on an inquisitor's chance of getting the, you know, the heresy, you know, trial through. So there's still 85% chance of getting this guy, despite there being bishops here. Now, these are, of course, my bishops. So I wonder if that's different, if there is, you know, that faction's bishops in a province. So that is another thing that's worth checking out, just again for science purposes. Like down here, this is a, I think that's a Polish bishop, right? Yep, yes it is. Now, this isn't a really good place to check though, because Constantinople does have pretty low zeal, it's 20%. So it's not a great place to check out. Also for piety on the Duke of Prussia himself. So these are going to be very low chances. Yeah, 0% chance. Still, it's worth attempting just to get rid of that 1 point of dread. So yeah, we'll still go for that there. And that is going to be it for the Golden Horde. Yeah, they have been eliminated. The Spanish have taken Arabia with their crusade. So that is it for them. Now, there can be a reemergence of the Mongols, correct? I think so. And if there's any place for that to happen, I suppose the Polish Empire would be a good area for that to happen. And in addition to the Mongols being ended by the Spanish have accomplished something else as well, and I will show that to you in a moment here once I've done with all of this. My assassins keep getting caught when they chase Byzantine emissaries outside of my own territories. Reliquary finished here in Wales. +2 morale for the longbowmen that are trained up here, and I can also train the Grand Inquisitors as well. And I might go ahead and do that since I am using Inquisitors in Polish territory. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. So the Spanish have taken Toulouse now off of the rebels. I think this was originally, an Italian civil war that broke away and they remained rebel for a long time. And with the Spanish here, I mean, we are allies, so we shouldn't feel threatened, but my goodness, that's a large army. It's hard not to feel threatened, you know? And they don't border Toulouse, so they had to use their navy to get here. And they didn't have this many soldiers here in Iberia. I didn't think so. So they brought people from... Where did those guys came from? Because this is a large force. And... yeah, I guess they just had them in Iberia, I suppose? Maybe? Yeah. That is a large force. It's going to be important to keep an eye on them. How are their forces looking? I mean, they're decent, aren't they? Arbalesters, Pavis crossbows. Oh, they got some handgunners. That's fun. Yeah, nothing too, like, heavy melee oriented. Genites are skirmish cav. Yes, yes. And they got some feudal knights. Okay. Alright, that's something. But I'm not seeing large numbers of feudal knights. Some chivalric sergeants. Again, that's something. Feudal men-at-arms. Yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of range units. I'm not seeing too much heavy stuff when it comes to their infantry or their cavalry. Still, though, with that amount of numbers, that's worth keeping an eye on for sure. What does the terrain look like if they were to attack into Aquitaine? It would be hills going into flatland. So they would have the hills on their side of the map, and then we would have the flatland on our side of the map. So not ideal. Not ideal. And then into Anjou, it would be same thing. Hills going into flatland. Okay, okay, alright. Yep. Yeah, we should keep an eye on that. I think this is the first place where I can train the Grand Inquisitors. So let's check these guys out. They're pretty scary looking. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool looking image, and yeah, pretty scary photo. Little picture there. It is the Grand Inquisitor's calling to root out heresy and dissent wherever he finds it among the Catholic faithful. His presence in a province vastly reduces heresy, increases public zeal, and will usually cow any rebellious population, as he often inspires outright terror. Okay, I didn't know that was part of what Inquisitors did, or maybe that's just for Grand Inquisitors, which is to increase population loyalty? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware that was something that they did. They do take 2 turns to train, which is, yeah, not ideal, but there's no cap on building reliquaries. You can build reliquaries wherever you want, unlike the cathedral where you can only build one, is what I think is how that works. And the cathedrals are where you can train the cardinals. Yeah, the cardinals are the Catholic upgraded bishop. So yeah, we may as well get these guys going. I mean, probably should be training longbowmen here in Wales, but for now we can just get some Grand Inquisitors. Why not? Now we do have the Shipbuilders Guild finished here in Normandy. Yeah, that's a cool looking little picture there. And Gunsmith's Workshop is finished here in Flanders as well. Monastery in Brittany. And the Divine Comedy. So Dante's powerful work, The Divine Comedy, takes its reader on a journey through hell, purgatory, and heaven. Dante also makes powerful allegorical and political arguments against his enemies. one of the greatest stories ever written, it is nevertheless has religious and political points to score. Zeal is reduced in Venice, and the Doge's influence also suffers slightly. Interesting. Okay, so a bit of a... So like Zeal, I mean, the papacy owns Venice, so that's going to hurt them. But then, yeah, the Doge... The Italian Doge's influence, I should check in on that to see how they are doing. Because we are still allies. King Richard II, builder, plus 10 happiness, perfect. Love to see it. And anything else of note here? Okay, okay. Plus 3 valor, minus 2 command, minus 2 acumen. Well, you're not a governor and you're not a general, so I will take that plus 3 valor. Thank you very much. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's check in on the Italian Doge here. How is he doing? Oh, he's fine. 6 influence, he is doing just fine. Yeah, 43 years old, he has plenty of life left to live. And it's worth wondering what the plans for the Spanish armies are because, yeah, there's a few guys here. So a few of them left, it looks like. Looks like they're not all there. And then same thing up here, you know. They're kind of bottlenecked now. We are allies. They should not attack us because that would be reducing the influence, although his influence is also fine. If he were to betray us, he wouldn't be losing, you know, he wouldn't be hurting that much. Now, are they allied with the Byzantine, or the Byzantines? They are. Okay. So they're allies with myself and the Byzantines. Okay. I just want to check in, like where could they go then? What about? Well, let's check this. They are not allies with the Italians, nor are they allies with the Aragonese. So those are 2 targets that they do border that they could attack. They could try to take back Morocco, Castile, Leon, Portugal, maybe even attack the Aragonese at some point. If they were to attack the Italians, they would have to worry about this front as well, where they border Provence. So I would imagine that the Spanish have enough to kind of think about in regards to, you know, the people that they are not allied with, so that they should not be tempted to attack me is my hope. So let's see how that goes. And I think I can start building. Ooh, I thought that I could build cogs here. Was it Normandy? Here we go. Here's the cog. Look at that. First off, oh, cheaper. So cheaper to build than the Caravel, which is interesting. It takes 1 more turn to build, takes 4 turns to build this, where it takes 3 turns to build the Caravel. And support cost of 20 compared to the support cost of 12 for the Caravel. Okay, so a bit more expensive for the support cost. But yeah, that's a cool looking boat right there. The cog has come about thanks to shipwrights' experiments and gradual improvements in shipbuilding and rigging. A cog is a sturdy vessel with a deep draft so it can carry a large crew and troops, with demi-cannons as well. Ooh, wow. It is a handy all-rounder in combat. So yeah, it's an attack of 4, defense of 2, and speed of 2, and a strength of 0, which I think that they all have strength of 0. Yeah, I don't really know what that means. So compared to the Caravel, that's 1 more attack and has less defense than the Caravel. Caravel's defense of 3, cog has defense of 2. But it is faster, as a speed of 2 compared to the speed of 1 for the Caravel. Okay, so it could, you know, if it wanted to, it could maybe like escape a fight if the Caravel were trying to fight it. But yeah, okay, so let's get these guys going here in Normandy. Oh, actually, I could have started building demi-culverins as well. I didn't build any of those, have I? Okay, well, I'm going to have a cannon foundry finished in Wessex in, well, 5 turns, I suppose. Okay. Well, I should get that then when I get a chance to. Ooh, I could build demi-culverin towers here in Flanders as well. Do those work, or are those bugged out? I feel like I've heard about artillery towers for fortifications being bugged out, but I'm not sure. I haven't really... That's one of the reasons why I'm so, excited and tempted to try to get these defensive fortification fights going in one of these campaigns, because I want to witness and see how these defensive fortifications work. Yeah, I haven't really seen it for myself. So that'd be cool. But if they don't work, please let me know so that I don't build them and then, yeah, waste that, because they take over the artillery piece that was there before it. So like, you know, if it doesn't work, then it's just like a waste of that tower, I think. So in any case, let's go ahead and, ooh, Master Shipbuilder is going to get us. Can we get this right away? No, we need a Master Foundry before we can build our tier 4 boat, which is the Carrack. Okay. So I think that we would need the fortress before we can get the Master Foundry. It doesn't say it here, but I think that that's how that works. Well, first things first. Well, actually, what is the first thing? Yeah, here in Normandy, I suppose, let's just get the Master Shipbuilder, and then I can start working on the fortress after that. That's fine. And then let's build some boats. Let's get some cogs going. Down here in Greece, the Poles, who had initially beaten the Byzantines back to their fortification, it looks like the siege may have been relieved by the Spanish. That's what this appears to have happened. And the Byzantines are taking back Constantinople as well. Okay. I'm very interested because I was just talking about what is going to be the Spaniards. What is going to be their next outlet for this mighty military that they do have? And if that outlet is attacking the Poles, then yeah, great. That's exactly what I want to be seeing. I do not want to be seeing my spies caught by enemy bodyguards, but I knew there's a border fort here. I was hoping if I could get like 5 spies in, maybe one of them could get through. And it looks like maybe one of them got through. Maybe, I'm not sure. A traveler returned. Marco Polo's tales of his travels across the world to the court of the great Mongol Khan and Far Cathay would amaze any who heard them. The wealth and power of his imagination confound belief, but the spices and silks he brings are more than welcome as trade goods. There are new goods for trade in Tripoli and Syria. That's it? I thought that Edessa got new trade goods as well, but no, I guess it's just Tripoli and Syria. Okay. And we have another daughter on the way. Lord Uhtred inbred. That's too bad. -3 acumen, -3 command. He's a governor too? Shit. I might have to find a replacement for Lord Uhtred. I don't know who he's the governor of, but yeah, -3 acumen is not going to do. Charismatic for this governor, Lord Gascon. +1 morale, +10 happiness. That is fine. Gluttony, -4 valor. Goddamn, dude. You're a 2-star general too. I think he used to be one of my, I think he's a family member, right? Sir Edmund Plantagenet. Sounds like a family member. Okay, well, you're not a star general, so +4 acumen, though. Okay. You might be the next governor of whoever Lord Uhtred is the governor of currently, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Sir Geoffrey Audley. Going to have to try to remember. And there's another option here. Most eloquent, Sir Stephen Berkeley. Yeah, there's options here. There's people who are learning how to count, and they could make a good governor. Thinker as well, +2 acumen. Yes. And highly educated, +1 acumen, command, and piety. Well, you are now a 2-star general. Good job. Okay, so Lord Uhtred. Shit. Where were you? Damn it! I gotta find Lord Uhtred now. Okay, it was just easier to look at the provinces and find the governor that way. So Lord Uhtred, you are here, and is that you? It is. 3 acumen, not good enough because inbred, not good enough. Yeah, I just checked out Sir Geoffrey Audley, and this dude's insane. He's been counting since he was 2. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 acumen. Holy shit, dude. I would say get a hobby, but clearly you already have one. You are going to be Is that you? You're the... Really? Is that a Knights Templar? No shit. Okay. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, let's make you the new king. Is it King of Wales? Is that what's going on here? Oh, motherfucker. Where'd he go again? All right, he's down here. There he is. All right, Prince. That's what it is. Prince of Wales. Got it. All right, Prince of Wales. And I got a emissary right here. Let's relieve this man of his duties. And yes, we will make... Actually, let's keep an eye on this. I just want to see like what the number 513 currently for Wales. I mean, shit, this guy should be a governor of something else, right? He should be a governor of like Antioch or Tripoli. Oh, Tripoli is making 12. What was that 12,000? Jesus. Antioch's making 7,000. Who's the governor? Where are you? So you're Tripoli. That's only 5 acumen. Okay. Okay, what about Antioch? So are you Antioch? You only have 2 acumen. Okay, so this is okay. Yeah, there's some reorganization that needs to happen here. All right, so you're also going to be relieved of your duties as well. I know I have plenty of emissaries. There's one. So let me just make sure that it's you. So it's you. Yeah, you are no longer going to be the Prince of Antioch. So I think I'd rather have you be the Prince of Antioch, and then I'll just find someone else for Wales. He doesn't need to have 9 acumen, for God's sake. He just needs to have more than 3. There's people over here that knew how to count, right? I thought there was someone over here. Yeah, Sir Richard Gifford. 5 acumen. Yeah, that's fine. Pride, -2 acumen. So he used to have 7. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't get worse. Hopefully he just gets... Hopefully the thinker gets better and the pride doesn't get worse. And are you... Is that you? It is. You could even use the loyalty boost as well. Actually, does the Prince of... I think this gives... It gives command, doesn't it? No, it just gives loyalty. Okay. Alright. So yeah, you will become the new Prince of Wales. Now that we are into the next turn, and these men have been relieved of their duties here. So yeah, 398 here in Wales, and we will be giving it to you. And we're looking at 545. I feel like that's the same. It feels very similar. Down here, though, this should make a big difference, though. Antioch is only making like 5,600 right now, but giving it to this guy. So this gives loyalty and piety. Okay. Giving it to him. So it's making 5,600. I think I was making like 7,000 before or something like that. And up to 10,000, almost 11,000. Very, very nice. Sweet. Love it. That was worth the effort. This is also making me very happy. The fact that the German Crusade has been hanging out here in Bulgaria, this rebel-held province, which I didn't think that that's how that worked. I didn't know that you could just hang out. That's probably something that AI Crusades can do, but if I try to do that, that's probably not possible. But the fact that they've just been hanging out here in Bulgaria and attacking from Bulgaria into Serbia and then failing and then, you know, getting reduced over and over and over again, that's way better than them hanging out in Flanders. So that's made this episode a lot less hassle. I've only had to replenish the men of Flanders a couple of times instead of, you know, every single turn. So thank God for small miracles, eh? And if that crusade fails, which it's going to, yeah, 3 influence for this current emperor. The Germans might be having some difficulties when that crusade does finally end, which, you know, it's probably going to still have a few more turns left, so we will see. Oh my, okay, wow. That's it for the Aragonese. Yeah, so the Spanish, I think they went in. They did. Oh, ho, 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 man. Okay, so the Aragonese are no more. They should have took that ceasefire a long time ago. They could have been making like trade income just off of import, you know? Like I know it's not much, but it's something. This entire time they could have been doing that. And oh shit. Okay, those are the Spanish have been excommunicated. Okay. Let's see, the Italians are mobilizing to attack the Germans soon. Okay. Yeah, a lot of Inquisitor stuff going on. Let's see, I'm catching Polish assassins here in Wales. I don't know, why are they going to Wales? Why? Cannon foundries finished here in Wessex. Okie dokie. So we can start building demi-culverins there. Now, this is interesting. Excommunicated, eh? Okay, so I just happen to have learned something in this episode about what I can do to excommunicated factions. So, yeah. And I have a group of Grand Inquisitors who are just chilling out here in Wales, waiting for something to do. In fact, I should probably move them from Wales. If they don't need to be here in Wales increasing zeal, that's not something that I should be doing. I just got lazy. I spent so much time in the earlier part of this episode talking about stuff and, you know, exploring the whole Inquisitor thing in Poland. So like I spent the last few turns kind of going through the turns, you know, and not doing a whole lot. So that's why my Grand Inquisitors have not been moved. But now I have a reason. Now I have a plan. Now I could be like, oh, Spain. In fact, I still have my regular Inquisitors here as well. Man, oh man. Okay. Well, the Spanish are about to get inquisited. But I think that for now, I'm just going to be moving my Grand Inquisitors down to their territories, just to get them out of my own territories. I don't want the zeal to be raised too high in my own territories. So let's just move them down here, and I'm just going to be getting to the next few turns, just so that I can end it on, I want to get that glorious achievements for the year 1300 before I end this episode. And this is just perfect. Someone sent an assassin to try to kill one of my Grand Inquisitors, and yeah, that did not happen. That Grand Inquisitor turned the tables on him and was able to kill that assassin. Wonderful. And yeah, okay, all right. So first off, there looks to be that German Civil War that I was mentioning. Yeah, so I'm assuming that's the crusade did fail. And now the Italians are attacking from Provence into Burgundy, as well as they're going into Friesland as well, using their navies? Where are their boats? They have boats there in the North Sea. They have boats in the Bay of Biscay. I don't see any boats here in the English Channel. Looks like, okay, no, I see some green there. Okay, that's how they got in. Okay. Wow, the Italians are still making some moves here. Interesting. Yeah, the Germans are going to retreat from that. I am the richest. And the Danish king has died from illness. Yes, yes. Master Merchant finished here in Ile-de-France. And Horse Breeders Guild finished here in Brittany. Now I can continue to work on getting those Chivalric Knights eventually here in Brittany. I have another daughter on the way. I have a lot of daughters on the way. At least I have one son. And Richard Gifford. Let's see. Okay, Prince John, Secret Gluttony, -3 Valor. Come on, dude. Come on, man. Be better than that. Here we go. 13 points. Yeah, not a lot, but that's just homelands. That's not counting conquest as well, which is going to be another 2 points. Yeah, that's fine. I'm still on top by a wide margin. The Byzantines, man, the Byzantines are just hanging in there. They've put up a very tenacious defense of their territories, considering that like nothing's really changed much since the beginning of this episode. In fact, I dare say, I mean, they're pushing back. They're taking back Trebizond. They're taking back Constantinople. Can they hold it? I mean, Greece is basically empty, so the Poles could just go in and take Greece. But during that time, I mean, this large Polish garrison can only have enough food for 2 turns. So the Byzantines might starve that Polish garrison out, and there's no way that the Poles can send help. Yeah, they don't have any navies in the waters that can send, armies there instantly. Yeah, the Byzantines are hanging on. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And that's probably due to the papacy helping out, distracting them. The Germans, despite the fact, it was a failed crusade, but still, that was its own distraction. Maybe my agents have helped out as well. So yeah, go Byzantines for now. Go Byzantines. That's okay. And this too, man, this is exciting. A lot of stuff going on here between the Spanish and the Italians. Now they are not at war yet, right? No, they're not allied. They're not. They're not. But man, this kind of looks like an opening, right? Like now the Italians are focused on the Germans. The Spanish, if they wanted to, they could kind of mess up the Italians, at least here in Provence, but also probably taking out the Aragonese has really opened things up for them now that they can move troops by land from Iberia to southern France. Also, the death of the Aragonese, of course, means that there is an opportunity for an Aragonese reemergence as well. So that's something that I can focus on. Now, I just want to end one more turn to see if there's going to be a different glorious achievements for myself going forward into the next phase. Yeah, now the Byzantines are taking back Georgia as well. My oh my, those guys are just really fighting back hard, aren't they? Oh, who's attacking me? Who's attacking me? Who is it? Is it? Gosh, there's so many boats in that territory. Is it the Spanish? Is it the Byzantines? Is it the Italians? Well, enemy ship sunk is 2, and I lost 1, so... Is it the Spanish or the Italians? So I lost 2 boats here in the Gulf of Valencia. That sucks. Let's see, I lost 2 boats. They lost 1 here. Ooh, I'm losing some boats. This is bad. It's... So it's the Spanish. It has to be the Spanish, right? So I sunk 2 of their boats. I lost 0 here. Yeah, it must be the Spanish. And they just asked for an alliance, too. So that's pretty brazen of them. Master Boyar finished here in Wales. That's going to be giving my longbowman an extra +1 valor. So that's going to be +2 valor in total with the province bonus as well as this building bonus. So that's pretty goddamn good longbowman. That's going to be pretty fun. Getting those guys out. Citadel in Ireland. Citadel in Anjou. And the Swiss emerge. Oh shit. A warlord has been working in secret to establish a new faction. He has organized a rebellion and declared himself the new ruler. A number of other rebellions in progress have declared allegiance to this faction. And it's just Switzerland that's becoming the Swiss. But yeah, there's like, what is that, 4 stacks? That's cool. That's cool. And treaty canceled. So, the Byzantines are going to be canceling their alliance with me because the Spanish attacked me. Those fucking bastards. Yeah, okay. So he says that warfare is a necessary evil. In its fires, men are reforged stronger. Okay, fucking asshole. His troops are a good example of this and will retaliate against any aggression. Okay, I get it. Fine. It sounds like the Byzantines want war too. It's kind of what that sounds like. All right, great builder for my king. Yes. Dude, come on, Prince John. Be better than this. -4 valor. He binges on luxury foods, spending vast fortunes on rare delicacies and huge feasts, while his peasants and starve. They resent this greatly. He is so overweight, he can hardly mount his horse. Come on, man. Jesus. Jesus. All right, me against the Spanish. Well, luckily, I have $1 million. Not quite $1 million, but 668,000, which is quite a bit. How much am I making now? I'm making 100. Okay, so that sucks. I was going to show you guys this at the end of the last turn. I was making 30 grand per turn, which is insane. You're not going to believe me because I didn't get a chance to show you. Now I'm making 153 florins. Oh man, wow. Yeah. See, that makes me glad that I kept all these armies, because the thing is that it's one thing to play with the small armies as long as you can still reinforce your different sections of your empire via your navies. But if your navies can get cut off by enemy navies, then you're in a different tricky situation. And the Spanish navies, as you can see, are numerous. They really are. And I am just now building cogs here in Normandy. In fact, I don't even... Is that my first cog? Have I not finished my first cog? I have one cog finished here in the English Channel. I'm working on my second one right now. And I can't build cogs anywhere else, can I? No, I cannot. So I can consolidate my navies and I can fight back against the Spanish step by step that way. But that's going to imagine, you know, as you can imagine, that's going to involve... you know, a lot of disruption for my trade. In fact, there's probably zero trade happening. Let me look at this. Yeah, that's all cut off. So there's no trade happening between my Eastern Mediterranean provinces. I mean, I guess I'm trading... I'm not at war with the Byzantines, so I am still trading with their territories and up here into Polish territories as well. So I'm still making some money off of my Eastern Mediterranean ports, like 1,000 here in Palestine, 5,000 in Tripoli, and then 4,700 in Antioch. It's not nothing, you know, that does, you know, hey, it's something. And, but man, the Spanish army here, oh man, they can attack any one of these four provinces, Palestine, Tripoli, Antioch, and Edessa. And because these provinces are cut off from my European provinces, they really do have to stand on their own. How are these forces? What do they look like here? Knights of Santiago, that's a cool unit. And yeah, Pavia's crossbows, yeah, sure. Anything. It's not bad. I'm not, you know, it's not bad, but like, yeah, they got some arquebusiers, that's cool. Arquebusiers, got some halberdiers. Now, those guys are going to struggle in the hot weather or the, you know, the arid climate. I think it's going to be arid if they're attacking. No, this is going to be a rock desert if they attack Syria. Yeah, those halberdiers are really going to struggle. They're too heavily armored for that. And then what about if they attack into... So that's going to be a rock desert if they attack into Tripoli. And that's going to be arid ground if they attack into Antioch, and arid ground if they attack into Edessa. Okay. But still, I think arid ground also has some heat penalties to it, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. And what else? Yeah, chivalric men-at-arms. Yeah, decent. Yeah, this is going to be a scrap for sure. There's a lot of Spanish troops there. And my armies have been neglected. I have not looked at them for some time now, and I think that they're okay. Billmen, longbowmen, knights. Do I have any feudal knights down here? Please tell me I have feudal knights down here. Nope. I don't think I ever moved them from Edessa, so that sucks. Ooh, yeah, I got lazy. Ooh, shit. Okay. Yeah, I got my feudal knights all in Edessa. So I need to start training these guys back up here, and I got to spread these guys out. So, oh, I don't know, leave 2 units of feudal knights in Edessa, I suppose, and yeah, these 3 units have to start getting spread out between Antioch. So I don't have anything in Antioch, no? Fuck, it's just royal knights. Fucking A. Oh man, that's bad. That's bad, but still, billmen and longbowmen are a good combo. But the fact that they can, you know, strike any of these places with all of that is pretty scary. Yeah, that's pretty scary. And we are still allied with the Italians, correct? Like, they're still, yeah. That's my one ally. They've remained. Okay, well, hopefully the Italians can kind of pitch in here, but I don't know. The Italians are really like stuck in attacking the Germans here in Burgundy and Lorraine and Friesland, and the Swiss have just popped up. Now, the good news is that these conflicts with the Germans could be resolved pretty shortly. I don't see any way out for the Germans. You know, they just have Saxony and that's it. That's all they have. Yeah, the Germans are going to die very soon, like very soon. Now, as long as the Swiss don't get involved, which they might. Look at these really badass. Look at these guys. Swiss armored pikemen. They look so cool. And they got feudal knights too. That's pretty awesome. And Swiss halberdiers, the non-armored ones. Yeah, they look so cool. Got some arquebusiers as well. Got some mounted crossbows. And what about that army? Yeah, cool stuff. I hope that, I don't know. I mean, they're not bordering the Poles, that sucks. But the Swiss could take out these rebel provinces of Swabia and Franconia, then they would be bordering the Poles, and maybe they could attack it that direction and towards the east. And hopefully that would leave the Italians free to help me out against the Spanish. That would be my hope. Ay. Well, we have had quite a few quiet episodes recently, and I know that y'all have probably just been rolling your eyes at them just because, I've just been, being a little fatty here, just building up my territory and just getting rich and fat and not doing anything. So now finally that period of the campaign is over and we are going to be back to fighting. In fact, let me click on this blinking icon. What does this mean? Subdue Scotland. Yeah, did that like hundreds of years ago. Really? Are there people that get to the year 1301 in this game and they still haven't subdued Scotland? That's really silly. So the Auld Alliance continues to help the Scots defy English sovereignty over Scotland. The defeat of these unruly Highlanders will be a testament to your faction's greatness. Points are counted in 1320, and the English must conquer Scotland. So I just get 5 points for that. That's just hilarious. And do these change at all? Am I still getting 13 points? 10, 12, 13. So that did not change. So these points are exactly the same. And these points are also exactly the same. All right. Funny. Well, wow. This campaign has really just changed in this episode. And things are going to be really picking up. Oh, I don't. We're going to get some wars going. I will say that much. All right. Before I go, I just wanted to say that if you're enjoying these videos and you would like to support the channel, then consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. It all helps immensely. So until next time, this has been Conasip playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.